What's happening? Coach Ryan Family here. We are in the Viper Pit, and I want to welcome you to the month of Deaduary. This isn't a zombie flick. This isn't some kind of morbid thing. We're talking about the deadlift this entire month. Deadlift is one of my favorite lifts. So this month I'm going to be giving you different deadlift variations that you might not have thought about, programming considerations. We're going to talk about footwear, your grip. And my goal is for really you to learn to broaden your horizons when it comes to the deadlift. Many of us get stuck in a rut and we only use the same things over and over, so we'll do the same deadlift variation, same grip, same stance. And that's all well and good, but variation is critical for weight training progress. I'm also going to talk about how to incorporate deadlifting in your programming, its effect on the nervous system, and much more. All this month of February. Every single day I'm going to bring you a new deadlift video. So why am I talking about deadlifts this month? Well, for the reason that deadlifts are a true functional exercise. A lot of people, when they think functional training, they think of standing one-legged on a Bosu ball, one eye closed, touching your nose, doing an arm curl, and that's the connotation that functional training gets, unfortunately. When I think of functional training, I replace the word functional with the word useful. So that balance Bosu nonsense, it's not very useful in real life. There is some limited application, maybe an ankle rehab, or someone has an inner ear injury, a vestibular injury, and they're trying to regain balance. Maybe for them, that exercise is functional, but for 99% of us, it's not gonna do us a bit of good. The deadlift, however, is extremely functional. Whether you're talking about picking up a baby, moving furniture, or just being able to live without back pain, the deadlift is critical to incorporate into your programs, in my opinion. It's also a great muscle builder. You can pack on tons of lean mass with it, and you use a ton of muscle tissue while you're exercising. So you're gonna get a big calorie burn after your training session. So with that, today is day one of Deaduary. Welcome to Deaduary. Here in the Viper Pit, I'm gonna bring you content every single day. Today we're gonna talk about conventional deadlifts, which is the most commonly practiced form of deadlift. It's also the form that most of the world records, the biggest pulls ever recorded in history, were done with a conventional stance. So it's an important lift to learn. I'm going to talk a little bit about stance today and how to set up. So let's dig right in. Let's hit the conventional deadlift. So when setting up for a conventional deadlift, you got a couple considerations. We're going to talk about what grip you use on a different segment of Deaduary, but today we're going to talk a little bit about foot position, hip position, and low back position for the conventional deadlift. So first of all, starting with your stance, how wide should you go? This is going to be very individual, but most people are going to do better in what's known as a quote-unquote jump stance. So you take the stance that you would use if I were to tell you to jump as high as you possibly could. For most people, that's going to be about hip width. Some of you might be a little bit outside of that, and others of you might be pretty narrow. Me personally, I keep it pretty narrow, so my heels are together. As far as foot position, you can go toes forward or toes slightly turned out. Okay, it's just going to vary the recruitment of the glutes and the external rotators of the hip. Now, the bar should always stay glued to your body, no matter what. So you never want to see the bar getting out away from the shins, all right? So when you set up, you're going to set up just a little behind the bar, and then as you bend down to pick it up, the shins will come to meet the bar, all right? Now, deadlifts are going to look different depending on your individual anatomy. A shorter lifter, I shouldn't say shorter actually, a shorter femur lifter, so the length here to here, a shorter femur lifter will tend to look more in a squat position at the bottom of the deadlift. So their butt's going to be down, their hips are going to be low, they're going to have a more upright back. Someone with a long femur, like if you look at me, I got these gargantuan long femurs for my height, I'm going to set up with a higher hip position. Now, internet keyboard trolls and warriors and couch armchair warriors, settle down here, because different deadlifts may look different and still be correct. So in my deadlift, a lot of people might be tempted to say, oh, your hips are too high. Squat down a little bit lower. That's incorrect for me. For someone that's shorter, that may be correct. So different strokes for different folks. It's going to look, two correct deadlifts could look very different in a short femur person versus a long femur person. So with that, back position, your spine should stay locked in a neutral position. We don't want to overarch, and we definitely don't want to be rounded. So with that, you're going to grab the bar, pull your chest up. You're actually pulling tension on the bar with your lats. Pull on the bar, pull your chest up, and get your hips in position with your back straight, and pull. To return the bar to the floor, push your butt back. Once the bar clears your knees, bend and drop it down to the floor. Simple as that. One cue that I like to use in the deadlift is to push your knees back. So knees back to start the pull, and then think about doing a back flip. So from here, from just below the knees and up, you're gonna be cantilevering your shoulders back and thinking like you're doing a back flip. So that's it for the conventional deadlift for today. Hope you learned something. I will see you tomorrow.